Ladies and gents, it is 1 in the morning, and we just got out of the Neon Demon. You've probably never heard of it. It's directed by Nicholas Winding Refn.
I know I haven't heard about it until today. About 12 hours ago, he said, "Hey, we're gonna go see this movie." I was like, "What the fuck is a Neon Demon?"
The Neon Demon is about a young model, played by Elle Fanning, who moves to LA in search of, stardom and her dreams, and turns out that everybody loves her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we honestly never get an answer why. The closest we get is, she has that thing, nondescriptive, that she's the ideal of beauty, and so all these models start getting jealous of her, and what follows is
unexpected.
A smorgasbord of depravity, metaphors, and the most beautiful cinematography I've seen in,
since The Revenant. We will be doing a minor spoiler alert. We will be talking about this movie in detail. If we spoil something for you, sorry, but if you want us to know spoilers, if you want to know our opinions, continue watching. If you want to skip to the end and what our sum up of the movie was and what we thought about it and our rating, click the time code right here. It'll take you to that time, and you've been warned.
This movie is just deconstructing beauty. It's deconstructing the male gaze. It's deconstructing female competition. It's not just like showing what the person is thinking. It's putting you in their head.
Yeah.
He has a way of doing that with just striking color schemes and this gorgeous, pristine cinematography. Like, not one hair out of place cinematography. It's spellbinding. It honestly feels like you're in a fever dream.
Whenever Jesse was getting ready to go onto that runway, you were just like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, you mean the one where she's performing in her first show, and then, like, the scene starts out with all the models walking down the runway, but then it starts focusing on her, and then it starts focusing onto this shape, this big triangle with 4 triangles in the center of it. And it flashes back between her looking at that shape and then her kind of becoming engulfed in the 3D version of that shape. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
What I thought of that scene was, like, you ever hear the saying that, like, a triangle is the most perfectly designed shape? Like, the most stable shape in the world, like the ideal for building something?
Sure.
I've heard that.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that the scene starts off with her on the runway staring at those 4 triangles. And I always thought of that as the triangles are the ideal. That is the standard of beauty that you must achieve. And by the end of that scene, because when she first starts approaching the triangles, they're blue. And then by the time that she gets there and is, like, completely engulfed, and you see 3 of her in these mirrors, the scene turns red. Diametric opposite, a transformation. She has gone from being the outsider looking at that standard of beauty to finally accepting it and becoming one with it.
That's a beautiful piece.
Thank you. There's one bit whenever they first go to the... We haven't even gotten to this part. When they first go to the party, and then they start talking in the bathroom, but once they get out of said bathroom, they go to, like, this dungeon room where there's a bondage model hanging in the middle of the room, and there's, like, strobe lights going on, and I'm pretty sure one of our party was gonna foam at the mouth at one moment. It had it continued on for 30 seconds longer, and you're just sitting there going, like, what the fuck? And that's supposed to be, we're all friends scene. Like, the end of that is Elle Fanning and Jenna Malone making smileys at each other, and you're like, you're bonding over bondage. Throughout this entire movie, Ruby is the only person that, you know, Jesse can come to as like a confidant. And she's her only friend. And there's this scene where it's prefaced by us watching Jessie alone in her shitty motel in California, and then Keanu Reeves just steps out all creepily, looks up at her room, and then we start hearing noises like screaming from the other room. So Jessie's freaked out at this point. She goes to Ruby's house, where throughout this entire movie, I'm sitting there like, they're gonna fuck. Like, Jenna Malone has every single fucking hot for this girl. But then she tries to rape her, and doesn't go as planned. But did you ever notice that immediately after she rejected her advances, she joins the bad people?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
She's crazy.
it was strange. Like,
There's some underlying
like,
character things in there that they didn't really hone in too much on.
I always thought it was like an underlying, like, entitlement, almost.
Yeah, because
Like,
in the end scene, the two girls in the shower were totally okay with Ruby's character just gazing at them.
But it wasn't.
They were friends in the beginning too.
With sexuality and identity, that as soon as you're with someone, you have kind of like a piece of them, that you're a part of their history, that kind of motif. And so, you know, the other girls, you know, they never wanted to say it because they didn't get as much attention as Jessie did, obviously, but they never wanted to say that they wanted to be her. But Ruby tried to slyly get in, and like, if I have a relationship with you, if I have sex with you, that's my way of getting to be you, to be intimate. And as soon as that is rejected, you know, she goes in for, you know, oh, I'm against you, like, here, your ass is grass. Ruby tries unsuccessfully to have sex with Jesse.
Not like this.
She has so Ruby's day job is, I guess, an embalmer or a mortician.
She
works at the morgue.
She does the makeup for people who are going to have wakes.
Who are gonna have wakes, yes. And after that, after she fails, Ruby goes on this depraved scene where she's dressing up a body and rapes it. She fucks a corpse, man. And all throughout this scene, you're getting glimpses into her fantasies of watching Jessie just touch herself on this couch. Dressed, by the way, in the makeup, and she's dressing her in her vision, in her image, her standard of beauty. And she just fucking defiles this thing. After Ruby, you know, does the nasty with the deadite, she comes back to the house that she's taking care of, that she's house sitting for, where Jesse's woken up. And turns out that it's a trap. And it's her, Gigi, and Sarah, and they're out for blood. And they finally pin Jessie up against this pool, which isn't full of water. And they push her in.
12-foot drop.
12-foot drop, cracked skull, broken bones. Jessie's dead. We get a random cut, and it's Jenna Malone in a bathtub covered in blood.
And, yeah.
Blood and guts and remains, and Gigi and Sarah are making out and groping each other. Blood and guts are washing off of them too. They ate her. They didn't just kill her.
They didn't just bathe in her blood.
They didn't just bathe in her blood. They ate her. I'm talking like taking Christ metaphor to the extreme. Consume my body and you shall have my spirit. Drink my blood and you will have my spirit.
How we figure that out later is Sarah and
because it's not, you know, because it's not explicitly stated until this moment.
Sarah and Gigi are working or trying to work this shoot with the photographer who was groping on Jesse earlier, who was rubbing that paint all over, and Gigi starts getting a little sick. She's looking into the pool and she's gagging a little bit,
which I thought was a great shot.
Her stomach's upset, so she goes to the back into the bathroom or something, and then you just see her gasping. You know, Daniel couldn't tell if she was trying to poop or throw up or what. And then later,
it's a long time that you hear her, like, I'm talking gagging, like awful.
Yeah. And Sarah walks in to check on her friend like a few minutes later, and then, you know, Gigi throws up, and there's blood, and on top of the blood in the vomit, there's a fucking human eyeball.
Pretty little blue eyeball.
Pretty little blue eyeball.
Plus the eye stalk too.
Mm-hmm.
All whole. And then Gigi has this mental breakdown, and she screams the line, "I need to get her out of me," grabs a pair of scissors, and disembowels herself.
While Sarah is just looking like she shows barely any facial expressions whenever her friend does this.
I know.
And, you know, she then takes, you know, she's just looking at her corpse. She takes off her glasses. You can see her eyes a little watery. Just as you think she's just going to walk away or do something, she bends down. She picks up the eyeball that threw up out of Gigi's mouth, and then she eats it, and then she walks away. And Sarah eats the eyeball Gigi threw up and then walks away.
That's just...
It was pretty disturbing.
It's one of those things where Refn is probably implying that, you know, the cycle continues. What's up? We just basically went through the entire movie. You clicked on the time code. Welcome back. This is our spoiler-free section. And the more I talk about this film, the more I like it. The more I'm finding myself thinking that this is honestly like nothing I've ever seen.
It really isn't. I haven't seen anything really like this.
And it's so wildly intense and unapologetic that, I mean, I've got to recommend it just on its audacity to be itself. This is like, if you have this playing near you, watch it. You may not like it. A lot of you might not like this, man, and I totally get it. I completely get it. It's not for everyone. But it's something that you need to experience at least once. When I start thinking about 2016, this is going to be an episode in that really is like nothing you've ever seen. And when I start mentioning, like, here are the 10 movies that you're probably going to need to take away if you want to talk about what was 2016 like, Neon Demon's one of them. And so, with that, I'm going to go and score with this and just go a solid 5.
Solid 5?
Solid 5. I enjoyed this. And I'm probably going to watch it again and enjoy it more.
I'll give it a 4.5. 5? 4.5?
And Liam, who couldn't be here, he gave it a 5, and his friend Declan gave it a 5 as well. So we'll do the math later for that.
It's practically a 5.
It's practically a 5. This is an extraordinary film and something that y'all are definitely gonna need to give a shot. So yeah, that's it. It's almost 2 in the morning. We got into the feels. Mm-hmm. We got into buckets of blood and femininity, and standards, and I'm hungry as
Oh
shit.
god, me too.
So, we're gonna try to be. We might go see Free State of Jones and Shallows later this weekend.
Yeah.
If we get a good opportunity to do that. I know next week we are getting Legend of Tarzan, which I feel like I'm the only person that's actually excited about that
I
movie.
feel like you are as
Tarzan is
well.
my favorite
I
of all of Disney's movies.
don't know, man. Margot Robbie and Alexander Skarsgård as Tarzan and as Jane and Tarzan, I'm totally down for that. That's coming out. We've got The Purge 3. My old nemesis makes a comeback, so get to go tear into that bad boy. And I think BFG comes out, and if we're lucky, Swiss Army Man comes out next week too.
I think that would be the only movie I really want to see next week.
Yeah, that
Swiss Army Man.
sounds fun. Paul Dano carrying around Daniel Radcliffe's corpse. We get two really fucking strange movies within 2 weeks of each other.
Should be good.
Alright, so if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe. We've got Facebook and Twitter links down there as well. Tell us what you thought. Honestly, please, tell us what you thought about Neon Demon. I really want to get into some dialogues with this film. But, until next time, thank y'all for watching, and, we'll see y'all later. Have a good night.
Stay beautiful.